Good evening, keepers of the catch. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and as always, on a Tuesday, I am joined by none other than the fattest stacks of comics in the land. Rob, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm welcoming everyone to Gary's House of Dance. I need some glow sticks and some.
Well, you didn't hear what only Sarah heard what I was playing before you guys got
it. It was really good. It was really fun.
Well, I'm doing great, Gary. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here, mostly because the second shot of espresso is kicking in.
There you go. And joining us as a co-host to help support Roger and help pick on him, whatever the case may be, we have the silver-haired Bronze Age babe, Sarah, as co-host. How you doing tonight, Sarah?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me, because I love to talk comic books. I love to talk comics with Roger and give him a little bit of a hard time, but mostly not. So thank you
always
for
have
having
to be
me.
on standby, sir, in case I do fall asleep.
Okay, good. Fine. Gotcha.
It does happen.
All right.
And Sarah, it's the other way around. It is our pleasure to have you. And in the seat of honor this evening, it is none other than our very own real-life superhero, Metarog, Roger himself. How you doing, Roger?
Oh, man. What can I say? I'm on a major league high here. I mean, come on. Second time around on the 10-1-1, being with Gary, Rob, and now Sarah, too. You know, I don't even need coffee, Rob. I am like sky high right now.
Try waking up at 4 a.m.
No, thank you.
For 1:30. I got to get up at 1:30 this morning to go to work.
Okay, let's move it along then, guys.
Chop.
Well, let's say hi to the chat first. And as always, we have Las Cruces. Good evening, sir. Ryan, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, sir. All right, my buddy Jerry. How you doing, Jerry? Nice to see you. William, Cuppy's in here. William, how are you, sir? One of the nicest guys out there. William is just always a treat. Psychedelic Comics, how you doing tonight, sir? Izzyverse, good evening. And we also have Anachronic. Joe, how you doing?
Hey, Joe.
Giving us a little sass with his waiting. Ignacio, good evening, sir. One Chat Comics, how are you? And look for Ignacio in the co-hosting seat this Saturday when we have Dr. Von Hoots on a special of the 10-1-1.
Cool.
Collecting with Durs, Adam. I think I said hi. Warlord, how you doing tonight, sir? Nice to see you. All right, and I think for the moment, we're caught up. So, Roger, we're going to take it back to you. But first, before we get going, as always, for those who don't know you and are just discovering you for whatever reason, climbing out of their holes, who are you and what is your channel about, sir?
Really, I'm just a guy who loves comics, loves this community, loves this medium. I've been a collector for 50 years this year, guys.
Congratulations.
So I can't believe that those words are uttering from my mouth, honestly. But yeah, when I was 8, I started, actually thinking, hey, I want to collect these things, right? So yeah, my channel has been around for about 5.5 years. It has no set kind of schedule or anything. Essentially every Thursday or so I put out a video, sort of a stream of consciousness stuff, whatever tickles my fancy. I do love to support this community. I do have every bi-weekly, I do have the community giveaway links video, which is just a 1-minute. Hey, here are the links for people that I find that have giveaways for the previous 2 weeks. And I just love doing live streams like with you guys and with Bob on Monday nights, and when I'm with Nam, and the community here has enriched my life so much. Sarah and I have done some streams together for Christmas and things like that, and it's just a blast, guys, to be here. And my channel is all about comics. There's nothing else. Okay, you're not going to see anything about antique restorations or anything like that. It's all about comics, and related stuff to comics.
And and what you said is so true. There's almost any day you can turn on someone's channel on YouTube and find you on it. Your reach is ever expanding, Roger.
I don't know about every day because, I don't think my wife was like, hey, are you on? Like yesterday I didn't do the no faces chat, but I think like twice a week is generally my sweet spot. That's about good right there.
Well, I mean, you got to let her out of the basement sometimes, right?
Well,
Wow.
I'm just trying to get Roger a beanie later. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, Night Tiger was over here a couple weeks ago, and I let her out, and he none the wiser. Okay.
All right, now he's just digging his own holes. All right, Roger, first book, sir.
First book. All right, here we go. By the way, this is I have to. I hope I didn't repeat from my previous 10-1. I don't think I did. So this is all new. I could do like 100 10-1s, but let's.
I was going to say, how are you going to pick?
Only 100?
Yeah, it's just all right. Let's
50
go with
50 years, and he's only got enough to do 10.
Only got about 12,500, Rob. That's all.
Atlas Comics, yes.
Let's go with Destructor #1 from the very, very short-lived Atlas Comics.
Yeah, Atlas Seaboard.
Atlas Seaboard. And the reason I picked this is that this is from 1975. I was obviously collecting Marvel and DC and a little bit of Charlton. And I saw this. And at first I was like, took a double take. I was, is this a Marvel comic? It feels like a Marvel comic. It looks like a Marvel. Has the little stripe up here. Has the contrast. But no, it is not. It actually by ex-Marvel publisher Marvin Goodwin. And this is written by Stan Lee's brother, Larry Lieber. And by ex-Marvel artists Steve Ditko and Wally Wood.
Wow.
So this is a pseudo Marvel through and through.
Well, all of them were, though. All of them had like Marvel artists and writers on them.
Pretty much all. I mean, there was
quite a few.
And this character, if you close your eyes and you read the story, it is a thinly veiled Spider-Man origin. Instead of Uncle Ben, it's his father, and instead of being bitten by a spider, it's a potion. But
we'd say a radioactive tick.
But when I bought this, I was like, hey, this is cool, and everybody at school was like, what is that, and I'm like, this is cool stuff, I enjoyed it, even though it's a bit derivative. It's still I found it enjoyable, and the reason I picked this one is that was the first time I actually expanded my comics into other realms, shall we say.
Neat.
So, and their covers are just so dynamic on their series.
Agreed.
And they just
Tiger Man.
Oh, yeah, I have those, but I don't know. There's something fun about those covers too.
Okay, Gary, you're a better man than I, sir.
And I still got to track down issue 3 of The Brute.
Oh yeah, that's The Brute. That was their answer to the Hulk. Yeah.
The bad part about those, Roger, I think you'll agree. You're reading them like I was reading Iron Jaw and then Wolf. You're really enjoying them, and then they just abruptly end, and the company was gone, and all these plot threads are just left hanging.
Yep. Hey, Hoarder's Hide. Hey, Scott. We just did a trade, Scott and I.
Ooh.
So we'll be showing that in a future video. Yeah. By the way, Wolf. I loved Wolf. I so wish that would have kept going.
Oh, it was good.
All right. So here we got Forbidden Worlds number 125. Of course, everybody knows
ACG.
ACG. This is the first appearance of that character, Magic Man.
That's a cool cover. That is.
I mean, who wouldn't know that?
Right. I mean, it's common knowledge, I realize, but
I wouldn't know that.
Me, I just want to be
I didn't know that.
Their second venture into superheroes.
Right. This is their very. They only had 2 and Herbie. Herbie is kind of a genre of his own. Magic Man and Nemesis, and I'm trying to collect both of these, all their appearances. That's why my trade with Hoarder's Hide Scott, he sent me some Adventures in the Unknown, which is Nemesis. But this particular character kind of came about 6 months after Doctor Strange, with very similar types of powers. He was a hypnotist. He was the son of Cagliostro, the alchemist.
Oh.
And he took a potion which made him immortal and it gave him, powers and so forth. And what I liked about this comic is that it was, I think, set during the Vietnam War, and he was fighting the war, and he was like, I'm not really making a difference as just a soldier or whatever. So he actually came. He thought because back in the past, witches were being hunted and burned at the stake and so forth. So he said the time is right for a superhero to put an end to wars, et cetera, et cetera. So I just thought that this was a character that I could relate to. Somebody who actually wanted to do the best for the world, and not necessarily even at a risk of his own existence or fear of it. So yeah, ACG. I think these were Pete Costanza did the covers for this, and the interiors I think were by him as well.
That's so I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it, but it just looks so comic booky, and I mean it in a good way, that it could be like a prop on a TV show or a movie where they didn't want to pay the licensing fee.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It still could be.
Still could be.
Yeah, probably yours for the taking.
Still could be. But I just enjoy these obscure characters. Obviously, if you know my channel, that's what I'm all about, right?
Obscure characters are the best.
They are, because everybody knows everything about Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, but Magic Man and Nemesis, how many people know about them? What their history is, who are their in their love life.
Accordingly, apparently us weirdos, but
right. Exactly. 50 years, Rob. 50 years I've been doing this. So weirdo is a compliment to me at this point.
That's right.
You got Joe saying he has a few, and the stories are interesting to a kid. Now, not so much.
No, not so much. Right. To me, it's still interesting, but as a nostalgic kind of thing, not so much as, this is something I really want to read because it's just interesting and vital to my life. No.
Well, it's funny because when you go back and read something from your childhood or even from before, because we collect things from before we were born too, sometimes it still holds up, and other times it's either cringeworthy or you're just like, oh, this is so bad. How did I do it?
How did I like this? Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Are those hard to find, Roger? Does that book?
No, not really. Not really. Because nobody's after it. So
I was just going to say, does anyone collect them besides you?
It's obscure, but not scarce. I don't think. If you go on my comic shop, I don't like to do that. I like to find things in the wild. I happen to find that one in the wild, but you can go on my comic shop, I'm sure, and buy it for $20 or whatever.
Generally, when I go to like cons and shows and stuff, you'll find those fairly available and not expensive.
Okay, cool.
No, to find them in decent shape though is sometimes
they're generally mid-grade at best.
At best, yeah. Oh, a mid-grade, I'd be jumping for joy. Most of mine I have to disassemble, give it a nice little water bath because they're water stained, press it, restaple it, the whole bit. But anyway, that's another story.
Before we get to 3 though, Roger, I do have a question for you. So you said you like to find your books out in the wild. Now, as a collector who's been collecting 50 years, how often is it weekly that you still go out looking, or how often is it that you're out actually pursuing books?
It's really intermittent. Like I was just two weekends past, I was in Ocala with Night Tiger at Geek Fest, so hunted there. But generally speaking, I only make it to Tallahassee about once a month, which is where the comic book shops are. So generally, it's about every month is when I
give them time to restock the good stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. Listen, I've gone through my collection. I've read it all, throughout 50 years. So now I'm like rediscovering it, and I'm like, oh, that I didn't know I had that,
Right.
So for me, it's like I have every day I'm discovering new things in my collection, just because it's so much to go through. But yeah, about every month or so, I would say. But I've done trades with Rayman, Sancherman, Harder's Hide. I've done with Kyle, etc. So I like doing that online. I don't like just hitting a button and paying top dollar for these comics. That's just not the way I am. cheapskate through and through.
I like going online and paying bottom dollar for them, though.
There you go, bottom dollar. There you go.
Yeah,
But I like trading with the community because that way, it's symbiotic. They're getting something that they want from me, and I'm getting something, so it's a win-win situation.
it adds a little bit of meaning when you get it from someone that you know.
Sure.
You
Yep.
got it. You got it. Exactly.
All right, nice, good answer. Number 3.
Speaking of that,
You may
Let's go to this
continue.
one. Right. This is Witchcraft
Oh.
5.
Oh yeah, I've seen this was the one you had Jerry did, right?
That's right. Right. Rob's on the ball there. Correct. This was actually found by a friend of mine, Lawrence Everett, who was previously from the Go-To Geeks. He no longer has a channel. He's got a job that makes him very busy. He found it in a flea market in Ohio, and it was a wreck. I mean, he found it for like $1. It was like nothing, But this is the only horror cover by Kelly Freeze. Perhaps you've heard of him from Mad Magazine. He did a lot.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
The covers.
It looks like you should have done more, though, right? Because he was so
right.
good.
I mean, it's a gorgeous cover, and the reason I was so attached to this is when I was much younger, I saw it in an LCS. I'm talking back in the 80s, probably, hanging on their wall. And of course, I was a poor high school kid. I couldn't afford the $30 that it was back then.
Yikes.
Okay. For a really nice copy. And I was like, I've always really wanted it. So I kept my feelers out for it. And when my friend Lawrence found it, I was like, can I trade you for that? And he was like, and I told him the story, I guess, pulled at the heartstrings, and he let it go for, trade. But it's in such wretched condition. I mean, literally brittle, no back cover. So I meet Carolina. He's on vacation while I'm on vacation, coincidentally, but we knew that we were going to be there. And I brought it on the hopes that he would take this really messed up comic and do something with it. And he actually just transformed it. He bought, I sent him the link. I was going to buy it for him, the back cover from a Western of Avon, which had the same interior and exterior. He had clipped a coupon out of it to fit into this page, and he leaf casted the outside. This whole thing was gone. This whole part was gone, absolutely gone. It's gorgeous. It's actually a gorgeous comic. Kinsler had art in here. Really cool little stories in here, horror stories. Absolutely adore this. Jerry, I can't thank you enough, my friend. He didn't charge me a cent. He wouldn't even let me pay for shipping. Nothing. That's how great this community is.
And a damsel in a red dress, which was such a staple back then.
Yeah, with a bunch of just bones from previous victims lying everywhere, and that
Is she in peril? Throw a red dress on her.
Yeah,
that's
kind of like the red shirt in Star Trek.
You also got to make her barefoot,
right?
Yeah, that was fun for you, Jerry. I'm glad you thought so because man, that thing was rough. I mean, really rough.
Joe saying Jerry's a great guy, so Joe's getting his payments from Jerry.
Yeah, Dope Comics has the same comic, and he sent me. Let me show you this. This is kind of an extra bonus here. He saw how much I was a fan of Kelly Freeze, and he sent me this, which is actually a original sketches from Kelly Freeze. And I think that is Frank Frazetta.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Frazetta on the right.
Fantastic.
I don't know how much he paid for this. I don't know where he found it. He just sent it to me. That's how great this community is. Dope. You are well named. You are dope. All right.
Wow.
And probably the best horror collection on YouTube.
Yeah.
By far.
I think by far. Yeah.
I think the only person that could come close to him is actually Bill.
Yeah. That would be a good show that they could put on together. Right?
Pre-code horror show with him and Bill.
Bill and Dope. Well, remember, I thought of it. All right.
And Polanski.
Here we go. Now this looks very mainstream, right? Captain America 259. Why am I picking this cover? You may ask. This comic.
Why are you picking this?
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. You're a great straight
Doc Ock is awesome.
My likes about comics vary quite a bit, but generally speaking, I am not a collector of like covers or anything like that. There has to have some meaning to me for me to have to want these comics. All right. So this here really struck a chord because this story by, I believe it was David Michaelini, an old friend of Cap's from World War II, contacts him because his son ran off with a biker gang, stole money from the cashier of his business, and they're like skinheads or something like that. I don't recall exactly. So he called Cap to see if he could find him and just tell him that he feels like he failed as a father, and tell him that he's sorry, that he forgives him about the money, nothing like that. He just wants to let him know that he's sorry and that he loves him. So Cap answers the letter, goes to see his friend at his garage. He's a mechanic. And he says, okay, I'll do it. That's Captain America we're talking about, right? That tells you the character of this man, that he cares not just about, the global or world or universal dangers, but the love of one man matters.
Yeah.
Cap finds him, and the motorcycle gang says the only way you're going to talk to him is to go through initiation. You know what they do? They tie Cap like they used to quarter people, like with horses, with a motorcycle, one strap here, one strap there, and they gun those motorcycles, okay, to pull them apart, essentially to kill them. But Cap, he holds on. Of course, he's very strong, obviously, and he just holds on until essentially the seat breaks. During that, Doc Ock attacks him because he wants his shield to see the secret of the metal so he could use it for his arms.
Oh.
And during that, Doc Ock is actually captured by and tied up by Captain America. And Doc Ock says to the gang, "I'll pay you guys whatever you want. Get Captain America, set me free." They go, "No, he passed the initiation test, so
He
food
didn't
you."
die.
No, you're right. It didn't die. So he talks to the young man, and he tells him, "Hey, your dad says he forgives you. He's sorry that he let you down, and he just wants you to know that." He goes, "You mean you're not here to take me back to him, like kidnap me or take me back forcibly?" He goes, "No, you're a man. You make your own decisions." He just wants to let you know that. The kid eventually leaves the gang, goes back to his father, and says, "I got to work to pay you back that money." So you see the difference of one man in this story changed the whole family.
Right.
And as a father and as a husband, this really struck a chord to me because kids go astray sometimes, no matter what you do, no matter how good you are or how good intention you are. So this gave me hope that no matter what happens, there's always a way back.
Nice.
That's great. What a great
So
story.
what you're saying is, just when your kids go astray, it's not like a TV. You just bang it upside the head and picture cleared up. You can't do that to the kids.
No, not the way to do it. You can't force anything. It has to come from them.
All
right, here we go.
Big enough hammer, you can force a lot of things.
Well, it won't work in the end, Rob. Let me just tell you that. All right, here we go. Fat Man, the Human Flying Saucer #1.
What? Wow.
I'm not kidding you.
Awesome.
This
I
is a
love
comic.
it. You know what? I think Lawrence sent me a Fat Man. I think
He did.
I got an A-OK from him.
This conversation.
I have a Fat Man in my collection.
Oh, is he in the comic room tied up or?
Yes, he is.
Everybody should have a fat man in their collection.
Gary, I'm feeling triggered.
This is not a troll. This is not a troll.
It's the name of the book.
Well, I'll talk you down, Rob.
I think Metarog had this made up, custom made just for this.
Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy? No, three issue series. All right, so this is interesting, guys. This is by C.C. Beck, of course, him of Captain Marvel fame. And if you notice the costume, it harkens back to
the
Captain Marvel
green
with
gold.
Green, right? So when I was younger, I was a bit, obese, and I got picked on a lot, et cetera, et cetera. rightly so, because I was just lost control.
Oh, it's okay to pick on fat men. Okay, now I get.
No.
I'm really triggered here, Gary.
Not okay, not okay. But it was. Let's put it this way: I come from a Cuban family, and if you're not like chunky back then, you're not healthy. That was the mentality, right? And I didn't know that until others told me, hey, that wasn't right. So, but anyway, this is a comic about this guy who's just, he's not really a superhero. He's just a guy who's like kind of lackadaisical. He's not really inspired. He's not really, a go-getter or anything like that. But he just happens to be in the right place at the right time when this alien lands and gives him these powers, and he can become a human flying saucer. The only problem is because he's so big, he doesn't go very fast. He's almost like, kind of floats along,
And now you're dashing Rob's dreams of flying. It just doesn't stop.
Let me tell you, inertia is a bitch.
So this comic it always reminds me of that era in my life, where I had lost control of my weight, but it sort of let me know that there is, even no matter how you look, it's immaterial. You can still be brave. You can still do good things. You can still do good deeds,
and
regardless of what others think.
Really, really slow.
Yeah, even if you're really slow. Yeah. And these are just bizarre and
stop
funny
hurting
and
them.
weird.
I'll be right there.
Right? Aerodynamics are kind of a challenge.
But
well, the covers on those books, the one I have, it's a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, it just is.
Hey, Joe.
It's colorful. It's fun. It's funny. It's fun. I'm glad to hear. I can't remember what the story is in the one he sent me, but I'm glad to hear there's something of value in there. So.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, like, this guy here, down here, Anti-Man. I mean, Tin Man. It's very derivative stuff that the publishers were really just kind of giving it, to Fawcett and other publishers, But I just found this to be kind of one of those comics that I always go back to, and reminds me of that time in my life, but happily, because I know I superseded that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
At one time, Roger, I weighed 240 pounds.
Really, you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Gary.
Wow.
I went, and then I lost 80 in a shot. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're a sexy svelte man, I tell you. All right.
All right, number 6.
I dream of 240.
Rob. All right, here we go. Neutro, number 1 from Dell.
Ooh, I've never seen this one either.
I get that a lot, Rob.
He's the most astounding.
I mean,
superhero
sorry, Gary
of
said
all.
that, right?
Yeah.
The most outstanding superhero of all. Really?
Okay.
Well, he's standing on the cover.
Appearance.
Only appearance?
Right? And this is what I really love about this. Yeah, the chunky monkey. Yeah, that's right. Down here, look at this blurb here. Neutro does not know the difference between right and wrong. The greatest superhero of all does not know the difference between right and wrong.
Did I do that?
And he's got like some dominatrix boots on too.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Look at that, right?
That
this is 1967, guys. Now there is an explanation for this. The reason is that he's actually a robot that is controlled by radio waves, right? Like there's a control panel here. So he's initially controlled by the good guys, Americans or whoever, and then later on by the bad guys, right? This comic, guys,
they're bald, because that shows how you know that they're evil.
Yeah, that's how you know they're evil. Rob, this is 1967, Rob, not anymore. Yeah.
Poor Rob.
Bald men are in now. I'm getting there, Rob. I'm getting there. This is probably the worst comic I have ever read in my life.
Really?
No redeeming value.
Mitchell didn't do anything the whole issue, right? He just had no idea.
The art, I mean, I am probably the worst artist on this planet. I think I can rival the art in here. Right? The story is absolutely incomprehensible and inane and insulting. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. But I love it. It's one of those like Plan 9 on outer space things. You know, it's so bad, it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
So that's why this is number 6, Gary.
Yep, number 6.
Next thing is going to come up, Metarog's in a pull book, and it's going to show that men with curly mustaches are evil somehow.
Right.
But if we squint our eyes, that's a telltale sign. All right, here we go.
He came here with a theme, Rob.
I'm telling you, this is great.
Here we have Danger number 16 by Super Comics. Yes, I know you're all jealous. So why did I pick this one? All right. First of all, let's talk about the publisher here, Super Comics. Irving Waldman bought a print shop back in the late 50s that had all these printer plates of comics from companies that went out of business years before. Okay. So, you know, not following intellectual property laws, he just went ahead and published them. Put new covers on them so that nobody would tell. And notice there's no comics code, and these were not available on newsstands either. But one of those quirky things happened, right? Where this comic here, which is actually, I forgot what the comic was, but this comic was actually never published. In other words, those printing plates were made, but the company went out of business before they were printed. So this is actually the first appearance of Yankee Girl.
Yankee Girl. I'm in love. I need that.
Because the company went out of business before her first appearance. So years later, it was published illegally, but actually by Super Comics or Irving Waldman. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up.
She can hang out with the Fighting Yank.
Yeah.
Is the story any good? Not. I mean, let's
mezzo, Sarah. Mezzo.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not something you write home to mama about. Let's put it that way.
Is it made of words? Yes.
Yeah, right. There are phrases in there of some sort. There's sentence structures, but
it is a nice cover.
That cover, I'm thinking I might get that.
The covers are all new. They were done by the Spider-Man artist. Oh my gosh, Metarog's losing his mind, but he's a good artist. But all the covers are new.
Yeah. Done by a good artist.
I need to find that one.
Yeah, Sarah, you'd like it.
I was just going to say, there's Roger helping me spend my money.
It has that kind of Sarah vibe to it.
It looks like it belongs in the collection.
Sarah did that to me last time she was on, though, because now I'm all in the Lady Cop.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course. You got to get Danger Street, right?
Oh, I'm getting Danger Street.
Yeah.
All right. So this one.
Never heard of it.
Right?
Just kidding.
Everybody knows this one, right? Amazing Spider-Man 316, first full Venom cover. I think there was one that has a little head or something. But so let's talk about this community and why I'm showing this comic. I'm a completist. Okay, so I want to get Spider-Man 101 through 400. That's
not complete.
That is the span of when I was collecting that title. Okay, as Rob probably knows, there are a few stumbling blocks in there. Just a few.
Not as many as when you do those first 100.
No, not as many as you. Yeah, that's. Thank God I started at that point, right? Yeah, where did that modern book come from? So, Rayman the Silent Man found this in a dollar bin in a flea market.
Wow.
Right? And I've cleaned and pressed it, but it's not in bad shape. Probably a VF or so, So he had it, and I was like, Ray's a friend of mine, and we've traded before. So I reach out to him and I say, Ray, is that ASM 316? It's one of the few I'm missing from the run. Is that available? And of course, what you want it? No, hold on a second. No, yes, I want it, but I want to give you commensurate value for it. That's the kind of community we have. He didn't even ask I want this or I want that. He just send me whatever. So I sent him a bunch of Thors and Silver Age stuff, and we traded a bunch of other comics too. But now, as I'm speaking today, I do have, because of this and because of ASM 300, which I picked up on the cheap, which I had to reassemble essentially, but I'm an owner of 101 through 400, and because of this community,
Wow.
if it wasn't for this community, it would not be possible. And this was the major stumbling block in there.
Nice. Well, congrats.
Nice.
Fantastic.
So now you'll just have to get those first 100.
No, Rob. No, thank you.
And during that time, Roger, I love that they were putting faces and stuff in the little corners on the bottom.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't mind McFarlane's art too much in there. I'm not a huge fan of his, but it's a little too overly stylized for me. But I like the Neil Adams, more realistic style, but anyway.
So what I'm hearing is, if I just AOK'd you like an ASM 63, you would have no choice but to have to get 1 through 100 because it's a completist.
It would be a challenge, Rob. Yeah. Hey, listen, OCD is a real thing, Rob. Okay.
It's a thing.
Don't tell me about
it.
it.
Okay.
Well, I just saw him lose more hair when you
fully
posed that question.
cognizant of that.
All right. Here we go. This is Ghostly Tales.
Oh gosh, I
Ooh.
have such a soft spot for those old Charlton books.
Oh, do ya?
I
Good to
do.
know. Good to
And I know the story of this one with Nauman and stuff, but go ahead.
You know about this one, right? So actually, this is the original. The reprint is the one that I had for years in Scary Tales 23 or something. And I've always loved this artist, Kim Sam-ho. He's a South Korean artist. He's now in his 80s. And I've really just loved his art, how lush it is, how mysterious it is, how wispy it is. It's just very unique. He's also the writer of this tale. And what's interesting about this is that most Charltons are anthologies. 4-page, 8 pages, 3-4 stories each. This is a full comic story here.
Oh wow, that is unusual.
And what is really unusual, Shebab, is this is a dual language comic. It is in English and Korean.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh.
Okay. So when I got to know Nauman better, I asked him, "Hey, do you know about this artist and this comic?" He didn't. So I sent him I think I sent him the reprint, or no, he bought it. I'm sorry. I told him about it. He bought it, and we did a show about it. I read it in English. He did it in Korean. Great story here, by the way. This is a comic. Honestly, everybody should have this comic, okay? Because it's historically accurate. Now it's the times are accurate. Now the story is about this man who was a deserter from the Korean conflict back in the 1500s, I do believe.
Wow.
And he's taken in by this lady, by this pair of sisters, and protected from the Japanese army, which is invading at the time. I'm not going to give you too much detail, but he makes a promise. Notice it says the promise.
Yeah.
He makes a promise to them, which he breaks. And the repercussions are severe. I'll leave it at that. But this comic is incredible story, art, and every facet.
What issue again, Roger?
This is Ghostly Tales number 101.
All right. We're all going to have to.
I'm writing this down. We're all writing this down.
Yeah.
Number 101.
Trust me, you're going to thank me. And if you don't believe me, ask Nauman. Okay. Last one, Gary. I love the regular, right?
Yep. Number 10, sir.
Number 10. Sarah, finally a DC.
Hey, I'm following along.
All right. I just got this one from Night Tiger. He AOK'd to me when I went to Ocala a couple weeks back. Right. It is DC special. It says Jonah Hex Spectacular, but it's a DC special, right?
Right.
And it is 3 fabulous stories: Batlash, Scalp Hunter, and Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex is the first one.
Oh, so all Western.
All Westerns, right. And normally you're like, oh, Westerns, that kind of genre. They're, no. This is a fabulous comic. First of all, Jonah Hex, at this stage, he's like in his 60s. Now, he's a bounty hunter. For you to have reached that age in this era is like us to live like 120.
Right.
It's just unheard of in that profession. Okay. And spoiler, he dies. But dying is just the beginning of the story. What happens to him afterwards is quite interesting. I believe Michael Fleischer is the one who wrote this story. And then you have Batlash, who is a very selfish, very prideful kind of individual, only wants possessions, money, but even he has his limits of how much horror he can take, right? Wow. That story says that. And then Scalp Hunter, all he wants to do is to be part of his tribe. That's it. That's not asking too much, except that he can't because of his half heritage. So the things that he goes through and that he does just to achieve that level is amazing. So a really fabulous comic here.
I'll say it sounds fascinating.
We're writing it down again.
I mean, I didn't know it was going to be this good, but I reread the stories a couple times. They were that good. Just fascinating to me. Again, I'm kind of have a quirky sense of what's good. So, but I think at least you'll like it. Let's put it that way. All right, that's it. 10. Fine. No. Sorry.
Prices are
No
all over
way.
the floor.
You're not off the hook yet. Come on.
What's the next? The story or the spec? I forgot.
The story.
The story.
The story.
All right.
I don't know how you're going to top all these. So.
Oh, wait till you see this one.
Oh, geez.
Here we go. Wings Comics number 67. Now, you may say, oh, Wings Comics, Fiction House from the 40s? No.
Well, that's exactly what I said.
No. This comic is from 1987.
No
Yeah.
way.
Why does this comic exist? Well, you see, there was this movie called Empire of the Sun.
Of the Sun?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, was
The
he
Keanu
reading
Reeves
that
one,
book?
Right? And starring a young Christian Bale. And in that movie, he read a comic.
Oh,
This comic.
that comic.
Now, this comic is actually Adventures of Superman 432, and the interior wrap is this story here, which you see in the actual movie with Ak and Andy and Bingo. Okay, so it's essentially a mock-up comic, but it has a cover, and the back cover is actually period as well. This was sent to me by one of the archivists in DC.
Wow.
About 15 years ago, because he wanted to know a little bit about what I knew about DC variants, errors, and ash cans. And as a thank you, he sent me this.
Wow.
And I have the
cool.
note
Nice.
inside from him as a kind of a verification of that. He told me that there were less than a couple dozen of these in existence.
Oh.
And he wanted me to have one.
Top that, future
That
guest.
is, yeah, really. Mic drop. That is fantastic. Wow.
When I got this, guys, I was absolutely speechless. I was like, he just told me he was going to send me something. I didn't know what it was, And then when I read that note, I was like, what?
What? You're doing what?
And by the way, I really like this movie. I've seen it with John Malkovich and Christian Bale. I mean, I've seen it many times.
I was just going to say, I'm going to rewatch it very soon now. So
did you read that book too, Roger?
I did.
Nice.
I did, and it's minty fresh, Rob. If I sent this to GTC, this would be a 9 point something, I'm sure.
I don't know what they would do with it because
I don't know, but it is known though. If you look at recalledcomics.com on online, they don't have one, but they know it exists. So
there's a website called Recalled Comics.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm learning everything tonight.
It's not just Recalled Comics. It's a lot of rarities. I have some of the I have some of the Diamond exclusives and price variants and errors that they have in there as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love the marketing and everything. I like everything about comics. That's 50 years. You know?
Right? It's fun.
It is. It's a lot.
That is a spectacular story, though.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
I told you, man. It's
What a treasure. That's an absolute treasure.
That's why I have it hanging on my wall here, Sarah. Because,
Yeah, man, oh
I mean,
man.
I hate to see what he'll bring up for his third appearance.
Hold on. It's been a year since I've been on here. Give me another year to recover. Okay.
Now, this one was from Mesopotamia.
By the way, thanks everybody in the chat. I'm sorry I'm not watching the chat. I hope everybody's doing well. Yes, Coyote Ugly had an ASM 129. All right.
Charcoal.
Now,
Harry,
what's
what's
spec
next?
pick?
Remind me.
Spec pick.
Spec pick. So
Yes.
has to have glasses on it.
Yes. There you go. Nailed it.
No, it has to be a spectacular Spider-Man book.
No, it has to have a lot of junk on the cover, like specs. Like speck of
Specs.
dirt.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm gonna break the mold here. I'm gonna go with
I'm not going to do what Gary says.
Yeah, I guess we better. Yeah.
Nobody puts Roger in a corner.
Only my wife on weekends. That's where. But anyway, by the way, let me just give a little proviso here, right? Do not listen to me at all on this because I don't spec. I have no basis for this. Okay, I love comics.
Does not
I love
constitute
comics, and
investment
I don't
advice.
know about movies and shows.
His voice is not the opinion of Gary B. Metarog.
Yes, correct. Put the crawler there with the disclaimer. All right. So
this man knows nothing. Here we go.
Nothing. I know comics. I don't know anything about the speculation stuff about it. Right. But this is what I pick. My totally uninformed opinion about what you should spec on. Not. Here we go. Hell Rider #1. This was a Skywall. Huh?
I said I'm listening.
You're listening.
Go on.
Skywall #1 from Hell Rider. Now, interesting, right? This came out a few months before a little bit better, slightly better known character called Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. The writer on Ghost Rider, Frederick, is the writer on Hell Rider.
Oh.
And notice that Ghost Rider was a demon possessed by a demon from Hell, H-E double hockey sticks, right? And he was a motorcycle rider. And so was this guy. But he was not, he was actually more of a crime fighter. But there are some quasi crossovers between the two characters. This character never came out of a second issue. There's Hell Rider #2, and that's it. There's a second reason to get this, and that is because down here, there is a character called Butterfly. See that down there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Butterfly is, to my knowledge, the first African-American superhero in comics.
Really? What year did that come out?
1971?
Then I think that's right, because I thought Nubia was
Nubia
first,
was a little bit after.
but that was 74, 73. That's awesome.
1971. August 1971. The memory is
Bing,
still...
bing, 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 bing. There you go.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So...
in magazine format and black and white.
And nice. Black and white. That's correct. These...
Ghost Rider prototype.
I did a video on asking whether it was or what, and I put it side by side. My opinion, it's not. I don't think you consider it a prototype. There are definitely quasi elements of Ghost Rider here, but there's too many differences. He doesn't have a supernatural origin at all. So, but still, I think that if you don't get it for spec, this is a really cool comic to have.
If you're a Ghost Rider fan,
yeah, you gotta have that one.
Yeah,
right.
And the what I like about this as a reader is that it has 3 stories in it. Yeah, I said female, right? It has 3 stories in it. and they sort of wend into the other. So each character, even though they don't meet until the end, they wend into each other. So it's really interesting the way that Frederick did the story and sort of fleshed out a novel here. So that would be my.
Why he had some creativity he had to get out, and he eventually did.
Yep.
That stuff's so interesting. That's
Because you
great.
just remember as a kid too, when you saw Ghost Rider, it was amazing.
Oh, you kidding me? The flaming skull,
right?
You know, the hog.
Yeah,
living the dream.
Outfit.
Man. Yeah. Living the dream. Roxanne Simpson. Come on, you know. It didn't suck to be Johnny Blaze at that point. After he did deal with the devil went bad, then forget it. But before that, not too bad.
Well, you get the powers of hell at your command and the penance stare.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have the penance stare back then. He just had the soul fire.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You're youngsters, these youngsters, you know,
kids,
well,
kids today.
I read that original run when I was younger, but I don't remember most of it now. And I read the whole Danny Ketch run too, and I always liked Danny Ketch better for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah, a lot of people did. I don't take offense to that. Don't worry.
No, I mean him and his sister Barbara was all really well written.
Yeah, no, I like that character as well. Ghost Rider had a Ghost Rider. Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
And you had some cool villains too, like that giant eyeball in that original series.
Remember the orb. Yeah,
orb.
Yeah. He had some goofy villains too, you know.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
But
anyway,
that's fantastic. Jeez, Roger, this is great. And how so now it's like, how much money will the co-host be spending in the next week?
If I had any doubles, I'd send them to you, my love.
No.
You know,
looking for them is half the fun.
So. Oh, okay. But you know, I don't keep doubles. I generally speaking, because of the room or lack of, I try to keep it to one copy of each thing.
And swearing at Roger while you're shopping's the other half of the fun.
You got it. One copy, he says. Yeah. I keep telling myself, oh, I'll quit here. And then I'm like, oh, but golly, you know, those ACG characters. Oh, now I'm collecting the Archie superheroes, Mighty Crusaders, the Web.
Black Hood.
Black Hood, you know.
It never stops.
There's always another rabbit hole.
Always.
In my case, there's multiple holes. It's like I got a mole in here.
Yeah. And nobody helps. They always want to get you into more rabbit holes. So, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they send me stuff and you're right, Rob. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. You got that. Do you know about this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. 50 years, I'm still learning just like a little lad, you know, it never ends. You never stop.
Yeah.
It's like Confucius said, right? You either grow or you die. You can't stay the same. You have to keep progressing, right?
Yeah, the best part about it at our age now, though, is like I actually have some money, as opposed to like, scrounging up a nickel is going to be hard.
Right, but we're more responsible too, Sarah. That's the problem.
Right. No,
you know,
we got mortgages anymore.
We got mortgages. We got car payments. We got, you know, some of us have kids that want to go to college, etc.
Some of us have dual tuition payments.
There you go.
Oh goodness! All right, well, we're gonna go around the horn and see what's coming up for everybody. Roger, spectacular show, sir. Absolute, just eye-popping books, dude. Awesome.
Totally.
Right. Sarah, we'll start with you. What's coming up for you?
I've got a couple of Neil Adams pieces that are new that are going to come here in next week or so, and so I can't wait to show those off. It is my year of collecting Lois Lane, and so I've got some. I will say it now. I have some Golden Age books, which is really unusual for me. So I'm looking forward to posting that, and so you can see what my plan of attack for Lois Lane in the Golden Age is. And I was telling Gary beforehand that I've Magic Lasso and Tony Fett got me into the making shorts on YouTube. And I'm not sure how successful this is, because here's my strategy. It's like, oh, what does this button do? So that's how that's basically how I'm learning how to do it.
Missiles
And
have launched.
yeah. So I'm having fun playing with those, and I'm probably posting more than I should, but I don't care because there's a lot of buttons. So what does this do? So it's keeping me out of trouble. So that's that's what you can find in my world. So.
Oh boy.
Right. And for those of you who are not familiar with Sarah, just like always, everybody's links are in the description below. So please go sub everybody up on YouTube. Follow them on Instagram. Rob, what's coming up for you, sir?
Well, Gary, this Thursday, it's a it's an IRF Authentics mystery box. So IRF Authentics, everything inside the box is signed. Every box was guaranteed to have either a sketch cover or a remark in it. And so that box is going to be open up $130 IRF Authentics mystery box. Saturday, of course, the flagship show Only Slabs. This week we'll have TKB Comics is coming on the show from Instagram. He's going to be coming on bringing some of his collection. Next week is a teaser. The week after that, it will be Jerry the Jitterbug. He's going to be coming on.
Nice.
And then, of course, Monday's regular Monday mail call, which I think is going to be a CBCS submission from, I don't know, the Dark Ages, because that's how long ago I submitted them, it seems like, for them. And of course there's a bunch of shorts that are flopping around in there. But I did drop the big thing, which was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it yet, Sunday and Monday there were two different videos that dropped on the Berkeley Comic Show, which is a amazing old school comic book show. One was just a walkthrough video, and Monday yesterday was the haul video. And my wife's not in earshot. I spent a little bit of money.
So just
What
a
happened to
nickel or
those?
two,
What happened to that college thing?
Oh, that's still there.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
They better get scholarships from what I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
seriously.
He's not giving blood for nothing. Roger,
I actually had to sell a few things.
what's coming up for you, Roger?
Oh boy. Well, on Thursday, probably Thursday I'll probably put out a video. I might do a contest entry for Where the Heck is Jackson Roykirk? That was Comic Mag Musings contest.
Oh.
And I'll probably show off what I traded Scott Hoarder's hide for. And there's a Kickstarter that I supported and I received as well, which is really interesting. So I'll probably have either one or somehow I'll amalgamate all those three into a video this week.
All right, and coming up this Thursday for me, we actually have Durs on the return of In the Hot Seat with the Usual Suspects. So Adam will be on, and we'll have our new intro playing then. And then Saturday, not only are we going to get a Savage Saturday comic review, which is going to be part 2. The next 2 weeks are still me doing the Salimba stories. Which
I
were
like
a
that
lot of
first
fun.
one a lot.
So
Yeah, that
part
was
1
great.
was last week, part
Yep.
2 is this week, and then of course we'll have part 3, and that'll wrap up the Salimba stories. And then we'll have Dr. Von Hoots on a special Saturday night edition. I had a few people reach out that can't make it during the week, and when that happens, I like to accommodate on a Saturday. So we'll have that, and like I said, we're going to have co-hosting Ignacio.
Excellent.
So
Nice.
gonna be a fun show, and
International flavor all around on that one.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And Roger, if you're available, you obviously sometimes you like to come on Saturdays. You're more than welcome to. Just
I'll be out of town on this Saturday, but
that's
hit me
right.
up next time. Yeah.
But Rob, I can't wait to see Jerry show his Wiz Comics on your channel, man. That's gonna
I
be
don't know
a
what he's going to
sweet
bring.
show.
He may bring nothing but like moderns, is all we know, just to mess with everyone.
Oh, he's got some great Golden Age Batman too, and Superman.
No, I
He's
know.
got a lot.
Jerry's got amazing stuff, and I really, but it's always up to the guest to determine what they bring, not for me to determine what they bring.
Right. It's just going to be good though.
That's a
whatever
must
we
watch.
bring,
Let's put it that way.
right?
Yeah, exactly. You just go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, blah, blah, blah.
And just want to say thank you again to the live chat. We had a hopping chat. It was a lot of fun. Bill only made fun of Roger a couple times, so he was really reserved tonight.
Yeah. Give me a break.
Wait for Bill to hold back. You know,
Yeah.
When you're that humble, it's hard to hold back.
Yeah.
But thank you guys all. I really appreciate you guys. Sarah, you're welcome on this show anytime.
Wonderful.
You want to be on.
Wonderful.
And we'll get you on for a second showing as well in the guest seat.
Okay.
And maybe I can coerce you and Roger to swap Roger to swap spots.
Oh yeah, sure. I love that.
That would be great. Be honored
yeah.
to do it. This is fun. Thank you so much for asking me again.
It's a
Gary.
huge honor to be on here, Gary. Let me tell you, the second time is even a bigger honor for me, at least, because you figure, well, if you a one shot, anybody can get lucky. Now two, now I'm stratospheric.
Start planning a third, buddy.
Give me a year. Give me a year to recover, man.
With they're writing your epitaph.
Yeah, exactly.
He was on Gary's channel twice.
Nobody can take that away from me now.
And of course, to the awesome chat, thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. Again, anyone watching on the rewind, everyone in the chat, everyone's links are in the description below. Obviously, these are all great people. Go sub them up. Enjoy their content.
I don't know. Metarog did everything he could to show that I was evil and me and a bad person.
Right?
That's going to get you so many subs you don't even know.
Yeah.
And you're a slow flyer. But until next time, guys, keep it casual.